Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lauren. If you already knew that, welcome back. If not, subscribe down below. We do a lot of cool stuff. So recently I have been reading We Need to Talk About Kevin. So the first question is from Sammy Smith. What do you believe the impact of the characters were on the setting, or the setting's impact on the characters? So the character's impact on the setting was pretty much this mother, Ava. She hates the house that her husband has picked out for her. That's where she spends most of her time, being at home mom after Kevin is born. She hates it. She doesn't want to be there. She hates the architect, everything, that furniture, and it just makes it seem like somewhere where bad things are going to happen. And question is from Shanna Stewart. So could you describe the atmosphere in the book and what is its emotional responses? So the atmosphere is very heavy, it's very dark. The entire book, she's trying to describe her life when she's giving birth to Kevin, when she is raising him, and how difficult that was, and just how she never really felt like she could connect or be in love with this child, like how these other parents are saying like this is what you should feel when you have a child. And the emotional responses is that it just kind of broke her character down slowly, and by piece, like she would, every day was a new struggle with Kevin and the house and her husband, and just all this heaviness of being and referring back to what he had done. The question was from Smarian Rocks. She said, emotional breakthrough, how did this occur? So at the end of the book, she kind of has this really big emotional breakthrough, and that's kind of just like how the book ends. She was talking about some prison. She was getting like really emotional, and like I think it just kind of snapped in. He was almost 18, and this is real now. Like he's just not in juvie anymore. He's going to an adult prison where he's going to be there for the next 5 years of his life because of what he had done. And I think that just really clicked in at this moment, and she was just like, wow, I actually believe I love my son with everything we've been through, and just like the bonding experience. And I think that's what kind of made her believe that this is her true feelings. Marshall Window, how did Ava impact Franklin throughout the book? So Ava, she was this really dark, gloomy person. She did not like her son, and Franklin adored Kevin. He thought he was the perfect son. He never did anything wrong. Ava, on the other hand, thought he was basically the spawn of Satan, crying or being too quiet. Like there was never a time where she could just sit down and relate to what Kevin was doing because of how difficult he was being. He drove away nannies, babysitters, anything you can imagine because of how difficult he was. Her impression of Kevin really affected her relationship with Franklin. Like everything that she thought, she couldn't talk to him about it because he did not feel the same way. He would twist her words into making her feel like what she was feeling was wrong. She would feel obligated to kind of voice her opinions in a little more of a harsh way, which made them butt heads a lot because Franklin adored Kevin. He thought he was the best. He would always take him out to practice his bow and arrow and everything like that. Question is from Peter Flanagan. Why do you think the author wrote Ava like this? I believe the author wrote Ava as such a kind of bitter character was to kind of show like not everyone is brought up to be killers. Like it could just be their nature, it could just be like who they are when they were born. And I think that she's trying to tell people that. I think that she's trying to show like even though she hated her son, that could have been a factor, but like overall in the big scheme of things, that wasn't her fault. It was her son's mental state. And making Ava kind of that character to kind of like doubt herself after being such a confident woman up until having Kevin kind of makes you like rethink, like is this really what mothers are thinking about when their children commit crimes? Like is it their fault? In just kind of giving perspective to other people who haven't had to deal with this, and maybe giving a voice to some people even though it's so another question was from Loretta Hurst. Can you give a brief summary of Lionel Shriver. He was actually born as Margaret Ann Shriver on May 18th in 1957 in North Carolina. She was from a really religious family, and she changed her name to Lionel, so she didn't like her name. While she was writing this book, it came out in 2003, there happened to be 7 school shootings in USA in 2002, and 4 in the year of 2003, and I think that's kind of where she got her inspiration. Like, this is an issue that is going on, this needs to be talked about. I think that she conveyed it really well throughout the book. Like, there was nothing that was offensive other than, like, maybe some of the word choices, but other than that, she completely put her heart and soul into this character and, like, trying to convey this mother that is doubting herself and how she raised her children. And the next question is from Jake Shredded, and it said, how did the book end? You guys are looking for spoilers and come to the right place. So in the very last couple pages of the book, she's describing how she's going in to this prison on the 2-year anniversary of the school shooting. Kevin is almost 18, he's been in this prison for 2 years, and just like going and looking at him for the last time as a child, 3 days before his 18th birthday, and kind of realizing this is real. Like, he's going to an adult prison, like I said before, and it kind of snaps into her brain. Her distancing herself was probably not the best thing, and she goes in there and he's being real emotional, and this is the first time she actually realizes that they're bonding, like, over something that is not hatred or misery and other things like that. He's scared and he's trying to look to his mom for comfort, and as she walks out, she's like, I actually love my son. The question is, what is the author's overall theme? I think the overall theme is about breaking those barriers where it's like, I have to raise my child this way. I have to be able to do this to be able to create a properly functioning member of society. When you can't really control that, you can't control their mind.